Welcome you all to another lecture on one of the Lsrw skills, that is reading. And this presentation will highlight the importance of reading and the various levels of reading according to the need. Let us move on to the next slide. If we talk about the reading skill and its importance, it is to be noted that it is considered as the most passive of all the skills. And what is it reading? Reading actually is the ability to decode the text. So, what does it mean? The written content is interpreted or understood or developed according to the understanding of the reader. So, it is a process of decoding the content in the written format. Though it is a passive skill, reading helps in the overall development because it enriches one's vocabulary, and in that way it gives confidence in implementing other skills too. Let me explain further, because if you have a good vocabulary, automatically you have a confidence that you can speak and write better than others. So, this skill is the basic for developing all the other three skills in the Lsrw. Then we shall move on to the next slide. According to the levels of reading, that is, as per the depth and intensity, we categorize reading into four levels or four types. The first one is skimming. As the word suggests, skimming is just a superficial reading of the content. For example, if we take a newspaper, before going deep into the content of the newspaper, we just browse or glance through the headlines to know what is the happening in the particular day. This actually gives not an in-depth knowledge about the events, but just an overall idea of what are the events that happened that particular day. So this is called as skimming. Scanning is the second level. As the term indicates, scanning looks for specific details under a topic. For example, if we consult a doctor, and if the doctor feels that there is something wrong with a particular organ, internal organ of a body, he advises us to go for a scan. So, what is the purpose of scanning? He wants to know, the doctor wants to know the specific problem in the specific area of a body. So, that is why scanning is suggested. So, likewise, in reading also, if we go for getting at a specific detail under a topic, we call it scanning. For example, a person who is unemployed and person who is looking for a job, when he takes the newspaper, he directly goes to the classified column and he starts looking for specific detail related to his degree or his requirement of a job. Then comes the third level of reading, that is reading for comprehension. So, as the word itself indicates, this level aims at complete understanding, that is, full comprehension of the text. For example, the students who are preparing for their test, they do not just skim through the headlines. They go in-depth study. They go for an in-depth study of the text, especially the important topics. They read line by line and try to understand the content thoroughly. So, this is what is the level of reading for comprehension. Then comes the fourth level, that is the critical reading. This is very crucial to make an analysis and evaluation. For example, if we work as a reviewer or if we work as a blogger, if we want to make an analysis of a particular restaurant or something, for example, an YouTuber who goes and visits various restaurants to give an analysis of the pros and cons of the restaurant and make a evaluation. He goes there, checks everything, and gives a very critical analysis of the pros and cons of the particular restaurant, and finally he gives an evaluation whether it is worth visiting. So, such a kind of reading where we make an analysis and evaluation, we call it as critical reading. So, as per the requirement, these four levels of reading are applied, and those who are adept in reading skill, they develop these four levels in course of time and become good readers. So, when we take reading for example, there are lots of barriers as it is a passive skill. There is no external motivation, and automatically there is lack of interest on the part of the reader, and especially there is a lot of difficulty in understanding because there is nobody to guide. And most of the time we do not realize the value of reading. That is why we don't give much importance to this skill particularly, and we always have issues in memory. We do not remember things as easily, so we just don't pay much attention to this habit of reading. There are certain keys to develop the reading habits. The first thing is we have to start from what is interesting to us. For example, a sports person can start reading articles on sports. A person who is an avid fan of films, he can start reading articles on films, and thereby he can develop his interest in reading. To begin with, we can go at a very slow pace and with an easier content, and then we can make reading a practice even more as a ritual. We shouldn't skip even a day. Then reading comes very handy to us and it becomes a part of our everyday routine. So, when we try to visualize the reading content for better understanding and try to relate it to life, reading becomes very easier and enjoyable habit. Thank you. I think this presentation would have enabled you to understand the importance and the various levels of reading. We will meet you again with another content. Thank you so much.